Vegas Video Network Studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip. It's Top of the Food Chain. And now your host, he's 1 part Mohawk, 2 parts attitude, and a touch of what the f***. It's Al Mancini.
Yes? Thanks. Actually have an audience and no applause. I think everybody out there is worried about that poor lion or tiger or whatever it is at the beginning. Scott, you've been feeding that thing the same damn zebra since I started this show a year ago.
Just so you know, it dies.
But you got to throw another zebra in the cage, man. The thing's getting hungry.
It's trying to work out. Both of us are trying to lose some weight, so we're having him chase the same guy. Bad news for the zebra, though. It does die.
Welcome to Top of the Food Chain. I'm your host, Al Mancini. Not quite the #1 Vegas Video Network star, but that's okay because my guest today was not quite #1 on Food Network star. Nonetheless, he got the best ratings, and we will be talking to Vic Vegas, back in the house. We've been promising that for so long. Don't change the channel because he hated the zebra joke, because we've got a real star here today. Anyway, it's great to be here. Also, before we get started, I need to thank our sponsor, Bread and Butter, Chris Herron's place over there in Henderson, coolest bakery in town. I just absolutely love the place. Vegas Uncorked started today, and I've been chatting with a bunch of people from around the country, and they're talking about bakeries here in Las Vegas, and everybody's saying, yeah, what about Chris's place? I've been hearing such good things. Trust me, the buzz is getting around nationwide, and if you live here in Vegas, or if you come here on vacation and you can drag yourselves away from the blackjack tables, get your asses over to Bread and Butter. Incredible bagels, red velvet bagels are great. I don't know, pastries are good, sandwiches, open for lunch and breakfast every day, and it just kicks ass. Chris, thank you once again for being our sponsor. Okay, we've got Vic Vegas coming up in a second, but first, topic came up today, and it's kind of hard to know which order to mention this week, but foie gras, back in the news, I guess, recently, because Wolfgang Puck was spotted wearing a Save the Foie button at the James Beard Awards. And I met with Wolf today, Mr. Puck, excuse me, Chef Puck today, and I thought I was going to get a great story out of it. It turned out that someone stuck the pin on him, and he hasn't really changed his opinion on foie gras. That said, it just reminded me that on July 1st, foie gras is going to become illegal in California, one of the greatest delicacies known to man. State of California is banning it, and that's bull. And I just think it's time for some of you who are out there and big foodies to realize that some of the best food that you could possibly want is about to be outlawed because some idiots at PETA are lying to you about the fact that it's cruel, and they've been lying to you for a long time. So just to go through the basics of it one more time, and maybe if you live in California, or even if you want to just lie and pretend you live in California and call a California state assemblyman or something like that, foie gras is, of course, it's the liver, fatty liver of a duck. It's the way ducks naturally fatten up their liver before they fly south for the winter, ducks and geese. And they do stick a tube down the animal's throat when they feed it. The fact of the matter is, however, that the ducks don't mind that, because ducks don't breathe through their throats, they breathe through their tongues. It doesn't make them gag. The ducks run up to the feeding tubes and they enjoy it. There was a time, a long time ago, well, 10 years, but a long time ago, when it was done pretty cruelly with metal tubes. They had no human interactions, kept in cages. That stopped a long time ago, and I have people, and I know chefs, some of my good friend chefs, all of whom who have been to these farms and who realize that the ducks are being treated well right now. So if you think it's cruel, let me basically put it to you this way. If you're a vegan and you think it's cruel, cool, because you don't kill any animals. But if you eat fast food, if you have ever shopped in a supermarket or a grocery store for ducks or for chickens or for piggies or for cows, you are supporting something that is far more cruel than foie gras. If you want to ban it because of that, ban everything. On the other hand, if you're kind of smart and you eat animals and you think they were put here so we can eat them, they live way better lives than most animals. Anyway, that's my point on foie gras. Do the research. We'll be back with Vic Vegas talking about what happens after Food Network star.
You know, one of the things I like best about the Vegas Video Network are the people. There are no divas here. Everyone is exactly the same off camera as they are on.
Hey guys, what's cocktail of the week this week?
You know what? I'll let you know what it is when it's time for you to know what it is. Why don't you get off the stage and get back in your production hole? Oh my God. You know what? And tell cheap-ass Whitney to get us some decent brand liquor. This hobo off-ramp crap ain't cutting it. God, idiots.
Totally.
And welcome back to Top of the Food Chain on the Vegas Video Network. One of many, many great programs here on the Vegas Video Network. I'm your host, Al Mancini. If you want to see the rest of the programming, of which I'm not the host, but you just saw some of the fine, lovely hosts there, like at Pub Crawl, just go to VegasVideoNetwork.com. Look it up on YouTube. We're on Roku, and listen to it all every week, 1400 AM KSHP. If you want to contact us, that's every Friday night, on KSHP 1400. If you want to contact us right now, get in the live chat room. We have Vic Vegas. He's got a huge fan base out there. I know people have questions. The dirty questions are allowed. Don't worry about it. Question for a future show, just email it at food@vegasvideonetwork.com. And if you want to voice message us, there's a little clicky thing on the right-hand side of your screen, and you just click, and there you go. You record it, and we'll play it back in the future. Anyway, enough of me talking. The most anticipated return guest in a ever, I guess. Ever is a long time, right? Mr. Vic Vegas, how are you, my brother?
You know, I'm glad you let me on here every time I do a show. It is an honor.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And I love coming here. While I'm doing the show, I'm thinking, I get to go see Alex.
Get to go back on Al's show.
Yeah, man. I look forward to that.
You could just tell Scott you want to do it every week, and he would kick my ass to the curb really quickly. And you could probably get, well, I wouldn't say you could get better guests because I've had some great guests on here.
Oh, yes.
But man, thanks for coming. We wanted to have you on before Chopped All-Stars, and we're going to be talking about Chopped All-Stars probably about 5 or 6 minutes. But before we get into that, the things everybody really wants to know is you go to the finals on Food Network Star, top 3, you're there, you get kicked out, finish technically 3rd, but as far as I'm concerned, you're in the finals. Okay, where's the roller coaster ride begin? I mean, obviously you didn't get to be Miss America and immediately get thrown on, USA Today or that stuff the next day, but you did pretty well. And usually the guys that finish 2nd or 3rd are the guys that do best in things like that, whether it be American Idol or any of that. So what happens? How's the roller coaster go?
Well, what happens is in that case, you do really good, and people accept you. And they really feel like, oh my God, look at this guy. He doesn't look like he's supposed to be here. And then you just become yourself, and you do really well, and then you get embraced. And then before you know it, people are sending emails in and saying, I want to see more of that guy. And they know what's going on in that building over there in Food Network. They hear everything. I mean, they know all. And, it's just one of those things where, it's a lesson from decompressing, from actually doing it is one thing, because that was a roller coaster ride itself. That was like the slingshot. So after you go on the slingshot, it's a lot easier to go on the roller coaster because you're not afraid no more. It really prepares you for what's next. And it's interesting because when you're exposed to so many people see you, people at home, people in the business, people that feel, hey, maybe there's a spot for you out there. And then you start getting the phone calls. So that's where the roller coaster really started beginning, literally halfway through the season and right when the season ended, because no one's really allowed to talk to you till that season is over.
Right. And so then it's because I assume you're kind of owned by Food Network for a certain amount of time. You have to work through them. You can't go and sign to, ABC or CBS for a certain period of time.
No, you cannot be Chris Nerschel and go on VH1 and film a celebrity couple show while you are still under the Food Network contract. Right. I love my brother, but he is crazy. He went rogue.
So you can't do that. But you can, obviously, people are courting you. Producers are coming to you.
Yeah.
So they offer you crazy stuff? I mean, is it like, hey, let's do a Vic Vegas dating show or Vic Vegas and his pets? I mean, are they coming up with crazy stuff?
You hear some interesting stuff. What I noticed the most is everybody wants to take off from where it left. The impact you created, they want to do the continuation of that. They want to see, okay, he did this, he made it to the end. Let's continue from here. Now, besides that, not everybody's like that. I've gotten some interesting phone calls.
Craziest one?
Crazy ones, anywhere from shows where would you like to live in a house with, 15 beautiful ladies so they can cook for your love? And I'm saying to myself, I don't think my daughters would like that so much, so I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Really? It worked for Bret Michaels, kind of, didn't it?
They're getting pretty innovative and pretty creative with the show concepts now. And the great thing is there's two different scenarios. There's the shows that they have sitting on the table that they don't have the right person for, and they have the shows that they want to create that they're looking for the right person. So you could either be adapted to something that is already out, oh my gosh, we finally have the guy, or hey, you know what? We're building this show. There's the guy for it.
What about restaurants and food companies? Do those guys come to you?
Yes. A very good company came to me, better known as U.S. Foods. They called me and they said, we've revamped our company, and we want a guy like you to be part of it. We want you to be the running back for our team because we want to go to the Super Bowl.
I want to talk a bit a little later in the show about exactly what it is that you do for U.S. Foods.
Sure.
But TV-wise, I know you can't tell me if anything's actually happening other than Chopped All-Stars, but anything in the works, just real briefly, anything that we may be seeing you on?
We are, we'll say, in pilot season. That's what I'll say for now. I didn't come this far and, had the opportunity to be embraced by so many people to say, goodbye, that's it, no more Vic. I have a lot of people that are waiting to see what happens. I can't let nobody down,
Cool. So I've got no doubt we're going to be seeing you on TV.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll have me as a guest on one of your shows
I'd love
soon.
to.
But you just did Chopped All-Stars. I think everybody out there wants to know what happened. We'll be talking about that right after this.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
One more time, back at top of the food chain on the Vegas Video Network with Al Mancini and Vic Vegas. Star of Food Network Star, or second runner-up of Food Network Star,
Something
but that
like
was
that.
still pretty damn good.
I made it there. That's
You
it.
did.
I made it there.
But also did pretty well on Chopped All-Stars recently, and I want to talk about that because it's All-Stars, so the deal was they put 4 people from Top Chef on it, or nobody from Top Chef, sorry, Food Network. They put 4 people from Iron Chef on it, 4 people from your show, 4 judges, so it was like that. So they invited you back for people that were on Food Network Star. You did it about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You did it a long time ago.
Oh, we did it a long time ago. They didn't waste no time, actually. They wanted to, I guess, do it while we were still nice and fresh off the press,
So it was Penny, Chris,
Justin,
and you.
and me.
How did they decide? Is it based on the ratings, who people liked the most on the show?
They take a couple things into consideration. Okay, so you got, I was fortunate enough to be, considered as the mama's boy hero type guy, just from being myself, the privilege of being taken in by so many people. So I guess the fact that I made it to the end and I was accepted is what got me on. I think they put my girl Penny on, who is an awesome person,
She's the villain.
She's the villain, so you got to have the good boy and the villain, I guess, on the same show. And then you got Chris and Justin kind of had a little bit of a rivalry together, because, Justin, he's a great chef, but obviously you saw on Chopped, he's the best.
Well, we've got a question out there, Scott.
We do. Bill G wants to know, did Vic ever consider starting a restaurant with any of the other chefs you appeared with on TV?
Actually, that's a great question. I just called my man Chris Nerschall about a week ago, and I said, now that you've taken up Italian cooking, and, I was born in Italian cooking, I think we need to get together down the road and do something. Right now I'm enjoying being a corporate chef and doing my pilots and getting a show going on out there soon, but I got to be able to feed people. What good is all this other stuff if I can't go, here you go, here's some of my stuff.
How was doing All-Stars different than doing Food Network Star?
It's crazy. It was like a concentrated version of Food Star, but from doing so many episodes of the Food Star University is what I'll call it, because it's the college I never received. By the time you got to Chopped, you were like, hey, I'm used to this. I know how to look in the camera. I know, how to time this stuff where it's done right. Comparison-wise, crazier, but if there was no Food Network star experience and then we went right into that Chopped, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
It seems to me you don't have to deal with that living in the house drama aspect as well, and the sleep deprivation and all of those things, right?
Yes. We still have sleep deprivation.
Well, that's by choice, though. At that
choice.
point, I know people who fly out to do Chopped and they fly the red eye and they're on it the next day.
Yeah.
But you didn't have any of that drama.
No, we didn't have any of that drama. It was.
Except Penny was talking about you.
I know, but she loves me, man. We're buddies.
She said she wanted to take you out.
I know.
Because you were too popular, I think.
I'll tell you what. I guess in a way that's the honor. To be on national TV, to be told you want to be taken out because you have, a very huge following. If anything, I'm charmed, from what she said. And, maybe it'll help sell the pilot that they said that. I don't know. I mean, that could be the stamp on there. But, it was an honor to be wanting to be taken out and be the guy to beat.
There's the nice thing from coming off the show is that you have this reputation. You're popular. You've got a fan base out there, obviously a huge fan base. Negative thing is you've got judges going in already thinking they know who you are. Scott Conant, it seemed like he was very, and I like Scott. I actually just saw Scott today. But he seems like he was nice to you there, but when he was doing the little confessional interviews, he was kind of taking some digs about you not getting your food done in time.
Well, I want to clarify now. He had said on the show he didn't plate food the first 3 episodes. Okay. If those of you who watched, it was only 2.
First 3 challenges.
It was the first... Yeah, first, 3 I'd say 3 challenges. But he said episodes, and I was like, thanks, Scott. I'm like, well, I guess he has to stand up to his villain role on TV. But I got to say, when you start doing the right thing in Scott's eyes and you earn his respect, you notice how things start changing. Once he sees you're serious about this and those days are over and you've overcame your problem, you notice I actually got him to smile.
Right. What was the toughest ingredient you had to work with?
Toughest ingredient? I never used razor clams before. So I just treated it like a clam. These little things, little wiggly, they look like little fingers, and I never used those before. I'm going to say that those were kind of odd, but probably that chutney.
Well, that's what got you on the last round.
The chutney is what allowed Penny to defeat me. So I'm going to have to say the chutney was the strangest.
What was that fruit roll-up-y kind of thing?
Hey, that was fun. That's my style, Al. You know me. You've eaten my food.
I'm like, only Vic could know what this is.
Any type of nostalgic...
Tell people what it is, because I can't even remember.
And you know me. Any type of nostalgic 80s food, I'll figure out a way to put it into the dish, man. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah. It's concentrated. All the moisture is, just removed from the strawberries, and it becomes like a pasty leather.
It's called strawberry leather.
It's called strawberry leather. That's exactly what it is. It's strawberry leather.
So, looking back on it, do you feel, again, you always the bridesmaid, never the bride?
Always the bridesmaid. But I got to tell you, I'm wondering if, others would handle it the same way I would if they were the bridesmaid. I think just be grateful that you're there and that you made it there. A guy from the streets with a 10th grade education is on Chopped All-Stars in the first place. I'm just proud.
I want to talk about what you're doing now, and we'll get back to that in just about 30 seconds. Is that how long these things last?
This is David Ivey from Pub Crawl. It's funny because this is David from. You should just leave it on. Hi, I'm David Ivey from Pub Crawl, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network. And scene.
And we're back on the Vegas Video Network. Top of the food chain with Vic Vegas. Vic, I did want to say one thing, because you have a lot of fans out there, and you didn't make it all the way. You didn't get the $50,000 for your charity, but it's a great charity. It's St. Jude's. Could you tell a little bit about it? Because I think some of your fans may want to throw a couple bucks their way.
Just so you know, my guys and girls out there, I did a dinner for St. Jude's Ranch 2 nights after the show came out. I've been auctioned off by St. Jude's because they're my primary charity. And the great people, and I was so gracious and blessed from this, after I prepared them the dinner that I was auctioned off for, they stood up and they said, you know what, you're still a winner in our book. We saw you on Chopped. We want to present you with $25,000 to give to St. Jude's Ranch.
And that is to help abused children and things like that.
Yeah.
So, congrats on that, man.
Dude, it was the best.
So we are running a little low on time, but just real quickly, you're now at U.S. Foods.
Yes.
These are kind of the people who deliver all the foods to just about every restaurant, whether it be high-end or a bar, right?
National company, sure. Whether it's a shindig on the side of the road to your 5-star restaurant, U.S. Foods takes care of them.
And then you sort of go around and you help them prepare recipes, and you're cooking. And
I'm the tech chef support. Anything that our customers need that have to do with food, troubleshooting, new ideas, or just plain support, knowing that there's someone on the other end of that phone when they make a call so they can feel better about what they do, that's me.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because people don't really understand how it happens behind the scenes, and we don't have time to really get into that. But maybe you could set me up.
I'm going to do another show so I could come back on here.
Do another show just talking about U.S. Foods and what they do, or maybe get me somebody else from the company because you're so busy making pilots.
I got a guy that's really good.
And you got groupies. We didn't even ask about that. How'd the groupie thing work out?
We're out of time. Look at that.
No, the clock is still ticking.
We've got plenty of time, Vic.
Plenty of time to talk groupies. Seriously, craziest groupie story.
Craziest groupie story.
That you're allowed to say on the radio.
Okay, so I went into the assisted living home. And no, seriously, they were square dancing, and I was saying hello to everyone, and everyone's pointing at me, and I turn around, and there's this awesome elderly woman behind me, and she's doing this, like ready to dance with me and pointing at me. I got called out, man. I got intimidated. I had to like turn around and go, I don't know if I can handle this. Okay.
Well, that's not the kind of story my viewers usually want. But look, man, I want to thank you for coming. I want to talk just a little bit before we get rid of it, because I'm surprised you're not doing this. Vegas Uncorked is in town this week, and I wanted to let people know about it.
I'm actually trying to work really hard to become something so I could really make an impact at the next Uncorked.
Usually a lot of those, well, not at Uncorked, but a lot of these food festivals, just anyone that was on TV just shows up and does a demo.
Yeah, I know. What I'm doing right now is I'm making what I got a lot stronger so I can really, really, really start bringing it to these events.
And the talent at Uncorked, by the way, is amazing. That's where I was talking to Wolfgang Puck today. These guys, if you want to get up close and personal with guys like Puck or Hubert Keller, Nobu, I mean, all of these guys are doing events. If you're a foodie, check out Uncorked. It's going on through Sunday, a bunch of Mother's Day brunches. Some things are sold out. Really cool. We've got a photo today just of all of the chefs together in front of Caesar's Palace, and they did kind of a sabre-off. And there's Wolfgang Puck there he's pouring the champagne. And just if you look at who's all in there,
Is Flay in there?
Yeah, Flay's in there.
Of course,
absolutely.
I see him
right up close.
There you go.
Just every great Jean Jo up at the top, and I mean just everybody that you could want. Vegas Uncorked is, absolutely one of the coolest things that you can do here in Las Vegas come food time. So check it out. It's uncorked.com. That goes on through Sunday. You going to any of those events?
Actually, what we're doing is we're actually traveling with U.S. Foods this week, and I'm going to start working on other states and other districts. I'm kind of expanding a little bit. We're starting to look at Utah.
They don't have food in Utah already?
Well, they do, but not very much. So we actually delivered to Utah from Vegas, and I'm going to start going out there and trying to create an impact for our customers in Utah.
Cool. Well, we've got about enough time for one more question. So, Scott, hit us.
Yeah, basically, it's what's the opportunity with U.S. Foods? What are you doing with them?
Just the fact they've pretty much handed me the ball and said, we want to go to the Super Bowl. You're our running back, run with the ball, and get us there.
What is the Super Bowl of being a food distributor?
Is being the best food distributor ever and being known as the best. They just had a huge company revamp. They went from U.S. Food Service to U.S. Foods, changed the logo and everything, and now the intimacy levels, they were there at one point, but now it's over the top.
So you've taken the service out of U.S. Foods. I can't leave you with that one.
Ow!
You had such a great soundbite there, and I just ruined it for you, man. This is why you come on this show, though. Come on. You got a new crown, man?
We're taking the word service out.
I was teasing.
And we are...
I'm not getting a job with U.S. Foods. That one's abundantly clear.
So anyway, U.S. Foods, quote unquote, keeping kitchens cooking, and I have the privilege of being hired to really take these guys to the next level, and that's what I'm going to do.
Use some great alliteration there, man.
Yes.
I like that. Keeping the kitchens cooking.
Yes, that's their quote.
Carefully keeping the kitchens cooking.
That's their quote.
Let's just keep adding to it. Let's not, man. Let's go have a drink. Thanks a lot for coming back.
Love you, brother.
Love you, bro.
All right.
See you guys soon.